of science fiction.
What if you could travel to parallel worlds? The same year, the same Earth, only different dimensions. A world where the Russians rule America. Or where your dreams of being a superstar came true.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Could It Come Back? And today we're going to be talking about 1995 Sliders, a series that should have been one of the best science fiction series of the decade of the 90s. It should have just stood out so much, should have been up there with the Next Generation. Sliders should have been one of the most amazing series ever. It was created by Tracy Thom, Robert Quaice, and there is rumours that it's based off a pilot episode called Doorways that was made in 1992, which the pilot is on YouTube, which I've had a brief look at. And Sliders is the story of Quinn Mallory, who creates an interdimensional device that can go to any parallel world within the multiverse. And of course you got Professor Arturo, Wade Wells, the Crime Man himself, and they travel across many dimensions. Well, they get lost originally, and Rembrandt is the only one left by season 5 of basically the original cast, where you get Tim Billock and I think his name's Robert something. It just gets ridiculous in season 5, which I just almost binged when I watched it this week. So we're going to say, how could Sliders come back with the original cast? So we're going to set it after the episode The Seer, and I think that's where we should start. So after our intrepid Sliders are on the world of The Seer, and Remy gets the cure where this world defeated the Cro-Mags. This series of it coming back, the Cro-Mags are going to be one of the main antagonists, but I will be adding something else. So Remy jumps through the portal, he ends up on his Earth, and obviously the Cro-Mags withdraw from that world. It's devastated after what they've done to it, and Remy's known as the saviour on that world, and they replicate the virus that's in him to get rid of Cro-Mags. It seems quite a few parallel worlds defeated the Cro-Mags like this, using a virus weapon. Also in this new season we're going to be going into more origins of the Cro-Mags, because a few consistencies in the original series, but we'll sort of straighten them out. So the other three Sliders, like Maggie Beckett, is then Mallory and Tim Billock's character. Sorry, I just couldn't get into season 5, but Tim Billock, she's a great actress. They're stuck there for about a year, and they end up. She ends up constructing, by using Cro-Mag technology, they build another sliding device. The plan is to head to Earth, where Remy is. But there's a bit of a malfunction with the technology, and when they jump, Mallory there's a warp storm within the vortex. When they travel, they all get separated because of the quantum signatures. Something, the vortex, this storm, it won't accept Mallory. There's for some reason, because he's merged, and they both de-separate and end up in parallel universes. So our original Quinn Mallory, Cue Ball, he is back in the series because this storm, it's sort of like a quantum storm that separates them both. You don't know what happens to the other guy from season 5. Let's just forget about him. He ends up in a nice place, he's happy, and he gets married and has kids. And that's it. But our Quinn Mallory, Cue Ball, ends up on this other technological world. His memory's a bit hazy because he's been merged with this other guy, and then it's about him working his journey. But the other two, Maggie and Tim Billock's character, they track the quiz quantum signature down, which their timer is giving off, telling them where to go, and they have several adventures. But the power runs out, and they end up on the world with Quinn Mallory, and they end up staying there. The Cro-Mags have tried to invade this world, and they got kicked off, and they stay there because Mallory can't go back in. It's going to take a few years for his body, his DNA's quantum signature to settle down, so they're stuck on this world for a while. So him and Maggie Beckett get it off, And that's it. Meanwhile, Remy is living on a devastated Earth. And it's about, I'd set it 15, 18 years later, where something brings them all back together. So let's go into this. Well, do you remember Colin, who got lost in the vortex? He ended up on a world that was conquered by the Cro-Mags, and he became imprisoned, and they tortured him because they realised they worked out he came from Earth Prime. And you go into the war with the Cro-Mags and why it started and how they got them off that planet. Now, the Cro-Mags have built an interdimensional empire, but they're dying because something happened to their DNA. Back on the Earth Prime, Mallory's parents created a weapon. It was a sliding device that altered their DNA where the females couldn't breed, and it transported the entire Cro-Mag race off to this other planet, and they were stuck there. Now, we know why they were freaked out, because when they travelled to other worlds, they found out the Cro-Magnon man had been overtaken by humans. You know, so we'll still keep the Cro-Mags the same, but we'll go more into their society. They've created like the mixed race type, half human hybrid Cro-Mag. And some of them now are starting to question the Cro-Mag policies. And the Cro-Mags, they're thinking, well, they're going to destroy everything. Now, when they've been on this conquering spree across interdimensional space, they've come into something else, because there's a bunch of humans that are very advanced, and they've been expanding out. They sort of protect worlds. They protect different parallel worlds that don't know about other Earths. And the Cro-Mag dynasty becomes quite big. Thousands of worlds get conquered. But like I said, the Cro-Mags have problems especially with the mixed race ones. You know, because their human side is now starting to come into effect, and basically there's a split off of them, and they go find their own world on another dimension, and the Cro-Mags want to destroy them. Also, they're on the verge of penetrating the shield to get back to the homeworld and exact their revenge. Now, Earth Prime is staying out. They don't care about other parallel worlds. They're staying out of it. But there's like an alliance that's been formed by certain parallel Earths that have highly advanced technology, and they're taking the fight to the Cro-Mags. And they were the ones that liberated Colin Mallory on this prison planet, and he joined them. And he's not like he was. He's like a much darker person. He's just slaughtering Cro-Mags left, right, and centre. So we're building to this big conflict. And we're going to find out there is the one Earth, not where Mallory comes from. There's this Earth, and if this Earth gets destroyed, it'll cause like an effect across the universe. It'll destroy every parallel Earth within, just go on forever. And the Cro-Mags have now found this world. It's full of ancient technology. It's beyond anything. This was the race that created sliding. They went exploring, and they existed years ago, and they either died out or went off. But this planet, there's this like device there that if you use it, it will destroy every parallel Earth. Now the Cro-Mags, because the actual pure Cro-Mags, they're dying out. They're deciding if they can't get what they want, because they just don't have the resources to keep on conquering everywhere, because you can't conquer infinity, can you? So they've got this insane Cro-Mag emperor who believes that if he destroys this like number one Earth where everything's split off, that he'll become omnipotent. He believes, but there's some Cro-Mags amongst them that are terrified. Now Colin Mallory ends up finding his brother Quinn, and Quinn, like, he's given up. He ain't given up. He's settled down. He's got a family now and all this, and it's become sort of quite interesting. He turns up and he's like the total opposite. Now Colin Mallory is a genius now, because he's adapted, especially on Cro-Mag technology. And he tells Quinn that there's a world out there, that there's some kind of technology there, or if this world gets affected, it will destroy everything, every universe, because Earth's it's like this line going through a parallel universe. And this is where I go with it. Now the Cro-Mags, I get Maggie Beckett, I don't know, I'd say Quinn's got an 18, 20-year-old daughter now. There's her. And what happens is, they end up, the Cro-Mags, work out that Quinn's back again, and because they can't penetrate the shield to the Earth. Now, there's these other humans that have joined together, that they're creating this alliance against the Cro-Mag dinosaurs, and it's all at war. Worlds are getting devastated. I'd take this up to the next level. Also, in this new series, I'd have 4 people. Now, one of the people who they find on a world is the Cro-Mag. Now, I'm not going like down, it's Tilk, and he's against this, but I'm not going, that's a bit predictable. It's a Cro-Mag who's been altered genetically to look human, and he sort of travels to all these parallel worlds with him, or it could be a female Cro-Mag. And I'd have all 5 seasons where, like, you don't find out till the end of the first season that she's a Cro-Mag. She has a communications device reporting in mission. And what I do then is like that a big twist at the end of season 1 when they start sliding. And they start sliding, but they can return to this world where Quinn lives. And they go to Earth where Remy's gone, but they call that Earth Prime, you know, but our Earth. They go to where Remy lives, and you bring Remy back into it. And he's like, he's married. I mean, things have changed. You're basically bringing new people that take the war to the Cro-Mags with the main characters. You find you're bringing Professor Arturo, who comes from another Earth, who conquered by the Cro-Mags, and he's like theirs. And you bring him in, and there's like this council of, there's so many parallel worlds have joined together, and they've got advanced technology, because the Cro-Mags flaw, because they've got all this futuristic technology, like which they fought the humans with, because they had it as well on their world. All their technology and the power, it all comes from Earth, and that's where the human race starts figuring things out and starts building manta ships and laser guns and all this. And honestly, worlds get destroyed. I mean, interdimensional. But then, the second season, I'd have a load of episodes where they just go in different worlds, looking for these like clues to get somewhere. Because there's something that's going to guide them to this world. Like, they find this tablet on this world of this weapon that can stop the Cro-Mags, or if this weapon actually destroys this Earth, there's this counter effect. It will destroy like most of reality. And the Cro-Mag now, they've got this insane emperor who believes that he's going to become like omnipotent. I'd make him insane. But I would have, I don't know, do you remember the episode, I think it was in season 4, with that Cro-Mag general? Well, I'd do it where they get a certain ally. There's a Cro-Mag general, like I said, like him in season 4, he's sick of the bloodshed, because what I'd have, in one episode of Sliders, there's people like living in San Francisco just going about shopping and a vortex opens at middle of San Francisco, and this device just gets dropped through, and then their world just blinks from existence. And because the Cro-Mags realise they ain't got the resource to conquer everywhere. And this is what they're doing now. They're just dropping these bombs in every parallel universe they can get to. And there's a lot of death and destruction. So now you've got this human alliance. I'd say of about 15 worlds have formed this thing to fight the Cro-Mags, and they are holding their own, and they're slightly pushing Cro-Mags back. But the thing is, you've got like Quinn's world. We're going to go into that. They do get there, and he meets his parents. And you find out about the Cro-Mags that they were a peaceful race, but they went warlike, and they were all like clans, and they joined together and suddenly started conquering. It was after there was a sliding project with Cro-Mag and human scientists, and this is how the Cro-Mags found out that there were hardly any Cro-Mags in parallel worlds, that it was just full of humans. Now, I did say there was something else out there. There's a race called the Guardians, and they're watching all this. They're beyond, they're like the next level up, and they're from this so-called planet with this device on. Or if you destroy this world, it'll destroy every other parallel Earth. And there's only a few of them left, but they're watching, and they end up getting involved. But at one time, they sort of guarded parallel universes from attacking each other. You know, all this, they were like the police, basically, of parallel universe. But that something happened on their world, that they came from this Earth, and there was something that happened on their world that there was a split. Now, we're going to find out that one of these Guardians is manipulating the Cro-Mag Emperor. You know, now this Earth is shielded off. It's not like Earth Prime, where Quinn's parents come from. This is like the ultimate Earth. And this like Guardian is manipulating the whole Cro-Mag situation. This tablet is like a coded thing that's split up onto different parallel universes. So this like evil Guardian couldn't get back to his world because he just wants to destroy everything, but he's told his Cro-Mag Emperor is going to become omnipotent. And this is where it's all sort of going. Now, I'm not going to say Quinn Mallory's got a destiny and all this. He ain't. Right? He gets involved, and he's the one that stops all this insane thing. Now, this alliance of these 15 human worlds is holding its own, and they've got Cro-Mag technology, and they're inventing their own stuff. But the Cro-Mags now realise, instead of going into full concrete mode, they're just annihilating entire realities. And this is where these Guardians, they were so far away in some other parallel place that once something of theirs got affected, and they get involved, and they stop the Cro-Mag invasion on one planet. Quinn and them, they all end up with Quinn's daughter, this Cro-Mag who is being altered, who's spying on them to get the information. They end up on one of these planets where some of these Guardians live. They're human, but they're really like beyond us. And that's when we find out that it's a Cro-Mag agent. But the problem is with this Cro-Mag, she's become, alright, she's a female, she cares about them because they spent 3 or 4 years together sliding and doing missions and going to parallel worlds, and she's been affected because when that moment comes to betray them and serve her emperor, it's she can't do it. So what happens is we get to this Earth, you know, and it all comes out that the Cro-Mag Emperor's been manipulated by this Guardian. There's only a few of these Guardians left, and Quinn he destroys the device, and the Cro-Mags end up, well, Earth Prime, we sort of go there, and there's a peace made between the Cro-Mags, because when they realise the Emperor's just been used and the old Cro-Mag dynasty thing, they settle on a planet in a parallel universe and cut themselves off, and they keep whatever they've got. There's like a peace across all these interdimensional war, and the Cro-Mag Emperor gets destroyed. Quinn saves the entire multi-Uberverse, and that's it. And he goes and lives, you know, Earth Prime. He goes back there to see his parents. He's got his daughter and him and Maggie. And that's basically, and this is where Sliders sort of goes. Now, this is just an outline. I think there's so much potential in this, but I mean, you still get the one-off episodes with amazing stories in all kinds of worlds, but it's all about this mission to get this like computer, this ancient piece of technology that will open this dimension to this super Earth. And you don't bring in the Guardians till season 3. It's when you start, you get hints about this race that travelled billions of years ago from dimension to dimension, and you find out why there's parallel worlds and all that. But this evil force that's manipulating the Cro-Mag Emperor, Quinn kills him, and the Cro-Mag, who was human, sacrifices herself to save her friends, and that's what is the turning point with the Cro-Mags and the humans and all this. And that's the end of Sliders. That's what I would sort of do. I mean, if you've got any more ideas that can make this look amazing, and just, you know, I'm open to it. But Sliders should have been one of the greatest series of the 90s. It's hit and miss. I think up to season 3, it's not too bad. I did like season 4. Season 5 just killed it for me, you know. But that's what I do. Look, you know, it's an amazing concept, and you could go so far with it. So let me know what you think, guys. please give this video a like, please subscribe to my channel, and it is much appreciated, and please give it a like. I've enjoyed doing this because I've just watched sliders and I did enjoy it. So guys, have a great weekend. I will speak to you soon. I'll see you on the next episode of Could It Come Back.